Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer Maker. It's a beautiful day to show you how to declutter and organize your drawers. Specifically, how to organize those drawers that you have full of small things that are jumbled up all together, like your junk drawer or your craft supplies drawer. You know that one? Here's one of my drawers with some stuff in it. Yes, maybe a lot of stuff in it. This is a huge mess and it's really hard to find things in it. And unorganized drawers like this just seem to get worse and worse over time if we don't get them under control. But don't worry, decluttering your drawers doesn't have to be a challenge. Follow my easy 4-step PACT system and you'll have a neat and tidy drawer in no time. PACT stands for Purge, Assess, Contain, and Tag. PACT, PACT. Now the first step to decluttering is to purge. So that means empty out the drawer completely. Take out all of the items and spread them out on a large work surface. This will give you an opportunity to assess what you need and what you don't need so that you can begin sorting through your items more effectively. Once all of your items are out of the drawer, it's time to assess and start sorting them into categories. You might have one category for tools, one for materials, and one for miscellaneous items like tape or glue sticks that don't quite fit elsewhere. That's totally normal. As you sort through each item, ask yourself if it is essential or if it can be thrown away or donated. If it's not something that you use regularly, then you really need to try to find another home for it or just get rid of it altogether. I find it helpful to keep a box and a trash bin near me as I work on sorting. Anything that can be donated or given away goes into the box or into the bin, right? Anything that should be thrown out goes into the trash bag or the recycle bin if I can recycle it. That should leave you with just the things that belong in your drawer, really. So after everything has been sorted into categories, it's time to contain everything. That means start putting them back in the drawer in containers according to their type or size. Use smaller containers and dividers if necessary to keep items separated and easily accessible. This will help prevent clutter from building up again in the future by keeping everything organized from the very start. I find this part the most challenging, I'll be honest, so I have 4 ideas on how you can contain small things like this. I'll share those in just a moment. And then step 4 is to tag everything with labels. Labeling each container or section will make finding supplies so much easier next time around, as well as remind yourself and your family members which items go where if they ever become mixed up again in the future. Use labels that clearly identify which container contains what so that there's no confusion later on down the line when you're looking for something specific. If your drawer is all one type of thing, it's fine to just label the entire drawer rather than individual containers. Like this drawer is filled with kids' crafts. So I could just label this whole drawer simply kids' crafts, right? If I wanted to. But I still want to actually label some of these things. So that's my PACT system, and it works like a charm every time. Easy peasy, right? So let's talk about the step that most people struggle with the most. That's containing everything. So here are 4 ways to contain it all. First, you can buy ready-made drawer dividers like these Space Aid bamboo drawer dividers. These are cool because they are adjustable and expandable with built-in tension rods hidden inside the divider. And they are very sturdy too. These bamboo dividers also come with organizer labels so you can label everything. You can see the link to these drawer dividers over at jennifermaker.com/DIY drawer dividers. The biggest drawback to these drawer dividers is how much space they take. They are pretty chunky. Also, they don't fit exactly, usually, and you end up with some empty space. I do really like how you can put the dividers into different slots, though, to really tailor the space to your needs. Second, you can buy small plastic bins like these, which are perfect for small things. I found these on Amazon. And you can get the details on exactly which ones these are over at jennifermaker.com/DIY drawer dividers. They are easy to use. You just pop them into your drawer where you need them. I really like these two because they are not too tall and they fit perfectly in this drawer. This is the Alex drawer unit from IKEA, of which I have many. The biggest drawback to using small plastic bins like this, just like our previous solution, is that they don't often fit exactly, and you end up with some empty space. It's even more of a problem though with containers like this. This may or may not work for you. It depends on your needs, of course. If you go looking for small plastic bins at the store, be sure to measure the height of your drawer before you go so you don't get ones that are too tall to fit in your drawer. Trust me, it happens. Third, you can make your own little bins or boxes and make them to fit your drawer so you don't have the empty space problem. These little boxes with built-in labels are made from basic cardstock that is cut, folded, and glued. You can make these in 5 different shapes. We've got small squares, big rectangles, small rectangles, and even a really, really long one for pens and stuff. And you can change the sizes too, and they will fit your drawers when you change the sizes. I have a whole tutorial on how to make these over at jennifermaker.com/156, as well as the free patterns and files. You can make these on a cutting machine if you want, or make them by hand. They are easy and fun to make. And fourth, you can make your own drawer dividers. I recommend you make dividers out of craft board. I don't recommend you use basic cardstock, however, as I think it's a bit too thin. The best thing about making them yourself is you can custom size them to your drawer, just as I've done here. Let me show you how I made the dividers for this drawer. To begin, measure the length, width, and depth of your drawer. You need all 3 measurements to get a good fit for your drawer dividers. Next, we need to create strips that fit our drawer. You can cut these strips by hand with the printable pattern that I provided in my file, but it's easier and faster to cut them on a cutting machine like a Cricut. So let me show you how to do this quickly. I've pre-made some drawer divider strips for you. In fact, you can get them free over at jennifermaker.com/494. Once you get there, just click on Libraries in the red bar at the top. Either click Get a Password to get one free if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Then search the page for 494 and click it to download the patterns. Next, open Cricut Design Space and create a new project. Upload the SVG in the file that I provided. If you're not sure how to do this, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs for a step-by-step tutorial on how to unzip and upload SVG files. Once uploaded, you will see 3 objects that look like this. These strips are currently sized for the shorter and narrower IKEA Alex drawer that looks like this. To custom size these to your drawer, you can either resize the strips to fit your drawer's dimensions, or you can simply cut, multiply, and glue them together so they are long enough to fit, and then just trim them a bit with scissors for a snug fit. Let me show you how to cut and assemble the ones that I've pre-made for my drawer. Since these strips are the right size for my drawers already, our next step is to duplicate them so there are enough to fill the drawer. That means having 6 strips that go the width of the drawer. That's these strips up here at the top with a tab sticking out. And then we need 4 strips that go the length of the drawer. Those are these strips that are in 2 parts with the stars on the ends. We'll join these together before we insert them into our drawer. Everything is sized to fit a Cricut mat right now. If you resize any of your strips, you'll need to be mindful that they fit onto your mat. If they don't, I recommend instead you just cut extra strips and join them together with glue later on. It's a lot easier that way. To duplicate a strip, first ungroup everything, then just select a strip and click Duplicate. So we'll duplicate until we have 6 width strips and 4 sets of length strips. When we're done, we'll have 14 objects on our canvas like this. Now just select your Cricut. You can use any Cricut to cut craft board, even the Cricut Joy. Then click Make It and click Continue. Now select your material. I'm using craft board, so I click Browse All Materials and search for Craft with a K. And select that, and then add some more pressure for the cleanest cut. I'm using Cricut's white craft board, which I think is perfect for this project. It cuts really well and looks great. I just put a sheet on my green standard grip mat, use a brayer to adhere it well, and load it into my Cricut cutting machine, and then press the flashing button to begin cutting. When the cut is finished, flip your mat over onto your work surface to release the craft board without curling or ripping it. This is the magic way to get it off without it being all messy. And when you're all done, you'll have these pieces. Your first order of business is to join any pieces that need joining. With this set I cut, the only ones I need to join are my long strips. To make it easier for you to see where to join them, I put stars in the bottom corners where they join. Just match up the stars. There's only one way they can be matched, and then glue together. This is how they look when they're all joined. Now let's get our empty drawer. I like to put pretty cardstock in the bottom before I add my drawer dividers. You can just cut it to size with a paper trimmer or a pair of scissors. Now put in all of your long strips in the drawer. I recommend you position the long strips so that the end with the slot that's closest to the end, this one, is toward the back of your drawer. This puts the small compartments near the front of the drawer and the larger ones near the back, which is the best way to access different size compartments, in my personal opinion. So little stuff in the front, big stuff in the back. Now take a shorter strip and begin slotting them into the longer strips. I recommend you put the front strip in first, then the back strip, and then fill in all the rest of the strips. Once your drawer dividers are in, decide if you're happy with them, and if you want sturdier dividers, you have two options. Cut another set of strips and double up on everything. This will make your dividers stronger. Alternatively, you can cut corner brackets and glue them in. I provided a corner bracket pattern in the file that I'm sharing at jennifermaker.com/DIY drawer dividers. These are simply strips that you can cut, fold, and glue in the corners where your dividers join to make them sturdy and more connected. And that's it. Now put all of your items back into the drawer. Be sure that the only items that belong there go in there. This is very important. And now you can write or label the contents of each compartment on the tabs at the top. They will fold down really easily because I put a little dashed line in them. I highly recommend you label things. A labeled compartment is less likely to collect things that don't belong in the drawer, and it's easier to put things back in where they belong, which means you can more easily find them again later. If you want to get fancy, label makers are a relatively inexpensive tool that make super neat and easy to read labels. They come in many different sizes and styles, from standard label makers that print out adhesive letters onto paper strips to advanced models with computerized printing capabilities. I have several types that I love to use, and I also like to use my Cricut to make fancier labels from paper and vinyl too. I have many tutorials on how to make labels with my Cricut. Everything from adhesive vinyl and iron-on vinyl labels to print and cut stickers and pantry labels. Everything that you can think of, I pretty much have made. You'll find them all over at jennifermaker.com. But no matter which type of label maker you decide on, using labels for storage organization, accessibility, and identification will make everything so much easier and more fun. Remember, if you'd like to make any of the exact designs that I've used, I'm making them all available to you completely free. To get them, go to jennifermaker.com/DIY drawer dividers. This is also where you'll find links to the exact tools and supplies that I use to do everything that I showed you today, including the ready-made containers and dividers that I showed you earlier, even my label maker. I've also linked all of the tutorials for my DIY drawer boxes and other labeling projects there as well for you, so you can find everything in one spot. Now, if what you're struggling with is the motivation to work on decluttering and organizing your drawers, I get you. I truly do. I am not always motivated to clean and declutter. In fact, I rarely am. That is the honest truth. So I'm on the struggle bus right there with you. Here is what I recommend. First, set some goals and rewards for yourself. Decide what kind of outcome you want, and then set a timeline for yourself. For example, if your goal is to declutter your drawers by the end of this week, that's a pretty good goal. Break this down into smaller tasks that are easier to accomplish within that time frame. Say 1 drawer a day. That's pretty reasonable, right? Then, very important, reward yourself when you reach each milestone. This will help you keep things manageable and give you something to look forward to. I do this sort of goal reward thing all the time. And once you've set your goals and rewards, it's time to create a schedule. Take some time each day or each week, however you space things out, devoted specifically for decluttering. Knowing when exactly you'll be tackling the task will help prevent procrastination and give structure to your plan. Set reminders for yourself so that you don't forget or put off your organization sessions, because that happens. And it helps if these reminders come from outside sources as well, like family members or friends who can hold you accountable. Or share your goals and progress within a group of people who are on the same journey of decluttering and organizing as you. I have an awesome craft room organization group that does a great job of cheering each other on. It's over at jennifermaker.com/craftroomorganization group. We would love to have you there. I also recommend you focus on just 1 drawer at a time. It can be tempting, especially when your motivation is low, to try and tackle everything all at once to just get it over with. You know what I mean? But honestly, this can quickly lead to burnout or even discouragement if things aren't progressing quickly enough. Been there, done that. Or you might end up with everything out of your drawers and then no motivation to go on, which means you've just made a bigger mess for yourself. Instead, focus on one area at a time until it's been completely decluttered and organized before moving on to another area. Trust me on this. You can always move something from one drawer to the other drawer if you decide later that it belongs elsewhere. So don't get too hung up on that, right? But taking on too much too soon will only make the task seem more daunting than it really is. I know decluttering can be an intimidating task, but with these tips and my easy steps and my practical solutions, I hope I have given you some motivation to take on the challenge one step at a time. Set goals, rewards, schedules, and take small steps towards getting organized. You'll feel accomplished and ready for whatever comes next. Trust me, it works. And if you do decide to get a Cricut cutting machine to organize or decorate with, or you already have one that you need to master still, I encourage you to set it up and learn it with me in a free mini course I have called Cricut Kickoff. It's a fun and friendly way to get up to speed with your Cricut. I walk you through everything from unboxing your Cricut, setting it up, and your very first cut, to understanding all of the tools and materials that you need or don't need, as the case may be. And then I show you all around Cricut design space so you feel comfortable using it and confident to do things. I do this for all models of Cricut cutting machines, Maker, Explore, Joy, and all devices, desktop, laptop, iPhone, iPad, and Android. And it's all free. Sign up today at CricutKickoff.com. And if craft organization is your big struggle, be sure to check out my 30-day craft room organization workbook, which has everything you need to clean, declutter, and organize in 30 days. Get more details over at jennifermaker.com/craftworkbook. Over 15,000 crafters have used this workbook and have successfully organized their stuff. It works. And that's it for today. I hope you found this drawer declutter helpful and you feel motivated to conquer your clutter. You can do this. If you do, share your photos with me. I love seeing organized drawers. Who doesn't? It's fun. It looks good. It feels good. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.